Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Vortex, where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed. I'm Michael Voris. We've been saying all week in the lead up to today's Vortex that today is the day the church sets aside to honor the birthday of Mary, the Mother of God. So a happy feast day to all of you, and a happy birthday to you, Blessed Mommy. And no, you shouldn't ask her how old she is. Just say the truth, whatever your age, you look beautiful. Now, the true believers and followers of Christ may have many times and in many places endured persecution by what we just call maybe the state. Even before Nero set Rome ablaze and blamed the Christians, the Jewish leadership in Jerusalem, which served as the state over Israel's religion, had launched its own persecution against the believers. Just ask any of those murdered by Saul of Tarsus, unleashed on the believers by the Sanhedrin. In fact, it's hard and takes some thinking to actually find a time in church history where some state leader or governmental system wasn't going after authentic believers. Of course, there were breaks and rest periods here and there, but eventually some state officials took a fancy to wiping out Catholics in his or their dominion, and voila, prison, death, whatever. However, what makes the current situation largely unique is that today, the state that was founded on mostly Catholic principles is what is now attacking Catholics. And in a pretty new twist, that state is run by, you guessed it, Catholics. Of course, phony Catholics, but baptized Catholics nonetheless. And in what is a largely 21st century phenomenon owing to technology, that state is now universal, like the church it seeks to destroy. It's really come down to a battle between the universal church and the universal anti-church, the state. Talk about not enough room in this town for both of us. While he'll had to have content himself with multiple states and empires here or there scattered across the globe, hither and yon, and being used to attack the faithful, there was never a truly universal action against the church until now. Simply put, the technology was just not up to it. Now, however, it is. All the global forces which exercise control over states are now able to link up and act as one combined force. That force is worldwide communism. Of course, it doesn't call itself that, but that's what it is. And we aren't talking about communism and/or Marxism as theoretical economic systems. In the end, communism isn't and never was about economics. It was and is about a new ordering of the world, a kind of culmination of all the dark forces rolled into one and taking direct aim at the only other universal structure on the planet, the Catholic Church. As an aside, imagine how horrifying all of this would really be if it had not been for the words from our blessed Lord himself, "My church," Catholic Church, "my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it." That was said for our benefit, not his. He didn't need any reassurance or self-comforting, but we do. It's altogether fitting that the enemy of mankind should have at last morphed into a truly worldwide nemesis, a truly globalist elite, a universal empire to take on the universal church. It's almost like St. John the Apostle foresaw something of all of this and then wrote it down in a book of apocalyptic writings, maybe? Important to note, extremely important in fact, is that in his revelation, St. John, who had housed Mary, for tradition tells us about 15 to 20 years, saw the pivotal and prophetic role she would have in the battle against the universal empire. Then a great sign appeared in the sky, a woman clothed with the sun. Millennia later, that same woman would appear at Fatima and perform the miracle of the sun as the opening salvo to alert her children of the forming universal empire run ultimately by the great red dragon. At those apparitions, she also instructed us to pray the Rosary. So, concluding today on the birthday of our Blessed Mother, as we've been doing and saying this whole week, we are offering our Rosary Bundle in the Church Militant store. The bundle includes the Rosary on CD together with the first edition of The Weapon, of course, while supplies last. Combined, these are normally $35 value. We're giving them to you in this Rosary Bundle deal for just $25. Get all 4 sets of mysteries of the Rosary available to play in your car or at home, so you can pray along with the meditations. And of course, the first edition of the weapon, see a few of them right there. Cast the Rosary is precisely what it is, a weapon. Almost the entire apocalypse of St. John is cast as a war, which the spiritual life is. We get into the war aspects of the Rosary in the book, which is why we called it the weapon. How can you fight a war without weapons, and not just any weapons, but you have to have the right weapons. So here's an opportunity to delve deeply into the Rosary's mysteries, understanding the story of the life of our Blessed Lord and our Blessed Mother beyond just sort of the superficial stuff, and coming to appreciate this simple yet profound prayer, the Rosary, all the more. So please just click on that provided link to take a look and place your order, again, while supplies last. It's not just about the natural order fight. That has to be engaged in, absolutely, because we live in the natural world and we have natural components to our beings, but also the supernatural preparation and discipline. If the Son of God walked the dual path of prayer and works, which he did, of course, then that's the same path we must walk. God love you. I'm Michael Voris.